Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities by Steven. You're talking to Steven. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button, get that bell notification on too so don't miss out on a video. Welcome back to the channel where last time we were here... Wait a second, we've never been here before. This is Fairstead, a city from Joy Build Cities, and I'm so excited to be building in this city today. Joy and I have swapped cities for the week, so we're going to be doing 2 episodes each in each other's cities. So Joy will be building in my city of Oracle Valley, a Pacific Northwest themed city, and I will be building in Fairstead. And I'm so excited to be building here because Joy and I have been fans of each other for a long time before we started working together in the Skylines 6, and this was the series that I started watching Joy's channel. Now, what are we going to be doing in Fairstead? Well, Joy and I have been talking about what the projects are going to be that we're going to be completing in each other's cities, and infrastructure was something that Joy and I discussed that could be a fun project for Fairstead. Fairstead was previously a 9-tile city, but has since been expanded to the 25 tiles, and so because of that, there are some edges of the city that were previously kind of locked behind the 9-tile borders. So we're going to be expanding into the areas of the 25 tiles, expanded 25 tiles. And in order to do that, we're going to need some fun interchanges. Now, I love building interchanges in this game because I find them really fun to do. They're also really fun to watch, in my opinion. So I'm really excited to bring these for you this week. And actually, this bridge that we're seeing right now on the screen is going to be kind of the centerpiece of our builds this week. So let's hop out and take a look at where we're going to be building in Fairstead. So here we are in Fairstead, and we can kind of see where this tile was previously locked, right? We can kind of see a good straight line here, the train station, and this was probably the vanilla highway here. So there's this awesome land available now, but we need a way to get there. So the highway runs there, which is easy, right? Fantastic. It's already pre-built for us, but we need ways to get into the land, and the way to do that is via interchanges. So in today's episode, we're going to be building out in this little pocket right here. There's an interchange right here, which is a diamond interchange basically, and this was the previous kind of interchange for the area. Now I'm thinking I'm going to leave this one. Joy and I talked about maybe taking it out, but I think I'm going to leave it here because it adds a lot of charm to the area. But I'm going to be adding in another interchange right about here. A Single Point Urban Interchange, I think, is the best bet because we're going to be building railways out this way as well, because we're going to be bringing the rails out this way to this peninsula where we're going to have future projects that need rail. I don't want to spoil anything for you all, but we're going to be bringing the rail out this way. And in the pocket of land that we've kind of developed by doing this, we're going to build a bit of an office park. We have a ton of industry demand, so I figured office parks would make sense. Now, over here though, in next episode, we're going to be building a pretty major interchange right here. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, so you watch the next episode, but we're going to be building a major interchange right here, getting some nice regional roads throughout this area, and then a tiny diamond over here just to help support the traffic. So that is the plan for the week in Fairstead. I'm so excited to bring this to you. Now let's go over to here where we're going to be building today and talk about the rails. Now, we have the rail network flowing into here. It goes all the way out into this direction, into this beautiful city of Fairstead. Let's just take a moment to appreciate Fairstead because Joy, I know right now, is expanding the downtown area over here, which is awesome. So let's take a quick look around the city because it's such a beautiful city. And if you've never watched the series, definitely check it out. It's a ton of fun. Yeah, this is fantastic. Beautiful campus area with some sports. Nice bridge collection right here. I love when bridges are really close together like this. Definitely makes sense and it's very realistic. Wonderful cities. Some high density pockets too. A wonderful little lake here too. That's awesome. It's such a fun time, I bet. And then we have some industry areas over here with the seaport and whatnot. And over here we have some new DLC items and stuff like that with the shopping mall area, industry zone. This city has been around for a long time, and because of that, so many little DLCs have come out throughout the series here. Cool farming area with a beautiful designed town. Love the layout of this. That is wonderful. And then over here we have a bit of an industry area with some fishing and a nice little low density community here. How wonderful. fantastic high density pockets through here, and the transit through this area is wonderful too. So many train connections and beautiful custom designs and everything. Yeah, really, really love this city. So this rail line right here runs right alongside what used to be the border of the city. We can kind of tell, right? It's a couple straight lines. Straight lines normally happen in planned cities, or because of a restriction like an unbuildable area, right? So in order to kind of accommodate the new 25 tiles, we're going to bring the rails out this way. And let's try to make it look as if it was planned to do this from the beginning. So let's first of all start off by taking out the rails in this area to about here. All right, so Joy and I have talked about everything that we're going to be doing in each other's cities, and Joy was very supportive of this plan, and so if you see me delete something, don't worry, I've talked to Joy about it, so it's totally okay with Joy. All right, so we're going to be bringing in the rails kind of curved this way down along the waterfront here, and then we're going to be bringing this one in through here, and we'll connect them all up in a bit of a Y. I think this is important because we're going to be able to get trains going from this direction here, this way, along with this way, and then vice versa, so that every train can go in all three directions. So we're actually on an elevated rail here. Now I am using a bit more mods than Joy normally does. So if you see some mods that are new, feel free to leave a comment asking about what they are or something like that. I'll try to discuss them right now, but right now we're using Network Anarchy, which helps us kind of lock into certain elevation steps. So we're going to be curving out this way. Now I want to make it look natural. Now railways have very demanding right-of-ways. When they're usually built, they usually have a certain width and whatnot that they have land for, and because of that, it's very difficult for things to be built around them, particularly when we're talking about some regional highways or regional rails and whatnot. So we need to make sure that what we're doing here respects the fact that the railway companies that built this probably had a lot of land around it. Usually about 100 feet is kind of the rough give or take for the rail. Now, the thing about this bridge too is we need to make sure that we have enough height for the boats to go across. So we should probably sit in the game until we see a cruise ship or something come by, and then we'll be able to figure out where we're going to go from here. So let's go with a straight piece right along here, trying to maintain along the same kind of directionality as this bridge, and we'll click it in. Now we need to wait for a cruise ship to come, and we're getting one, but once that arrives, I'm going to let it kind of glitch through the rail, and then we're going to figure out the height we need. All right, so here we go. We have a boat underneath here, and look at this. This boat is actually going through this pillar already. So that's something we should probably look out for when we're redesigning the heights of both of these bridges. So I'm just going to let it go a little bit farther because I need that height right here for this part of the boat. The bridge, perhaps. There we go. So let's grab all three of these, and we'll just kind of start off with this. So how high does it need to go? Pretty darn high, I believe. So right about where the height of the bridge actually is, I think is a safe bet. Yeah, all right. So I think the bridge was put in at the right height. So let's bring it to about there, and that is extremely elevated. My goodness. So now I think we need to make sure that we have all the rails pieces that are going over top of the water at the same height as this, so that any boat going any part of this river here will be able to actually travel underneath the bridge without having to worry about getting hit by a pillar or something like that. So let's just realign everything and maybe move this pillar here, because that seems like it's pretty much in the way of the boat traffic. All right, so here is the bridge that we were discussing, and it has the rail, it has the bridge pieces, it has the elevated pieces on it, and look at this. Here comes a boat. Will it fit underneath? I think so. I'm mainly concerned about this pillar here for the rail. I'm hoping that it avoids it. Yes, it does. Okay, fantastic. So we'll wait and see how the ship coming from the other side react to the new bridge layout here, but I think it'll work out great. So here's the bridge. What I like doing is I like lining up the pillars if we're doing rails. Oh, here we go. Okay. This is the one I was worried about. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. Okay, so it does avoid it. That is great to see. Yeah, so I like lining up the pillars with other pillars, and I use Move It to combine both sides of the bridge together so that it looks like it shares the middle cable as well. And I use the high-speed viaduct for the rail here. Yes, so I'm really excited about this because the grade on the rail is sub 2%, which is fantastic. We use the network multi-tool to figure that out. And then I also established the rail out over to here, where it is also sub 2%, getting down to ground level on this side. So we won't be doing any more work on this area here today until Friday's episode, but the slope coming from here up to the bridge is 4.5%, so I think it's pretty acceptable. But now we arrive over to here where we need to reconnect up the rails with the new bridge area, right? So let's do that. All right, so here we have the rail right of way through here. Now, the reason why I did the rail first is because the rails likely predated the roads. So we can now build the roads around what was there first, which is why I was talking previously about the rails right of way and the width of them, because roads wouldn't be built within the width of a rail right of way. Now, it's not the same everywhere in the world. Each rail in every country is created differently, but it's a good kind of system to have in place. So we destroyed these buildings along here, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be actually squaring off this to continue the grid, and we're going to bring out a road at this intersection that this square is going to create. We're going to bring it out this way. We're going to turn this into a bit of a regional road here, because this is where we're going to curve it underneath the highway here, and we're going to have our interchange off of this new arterial road. So let's do that, and then we'll talk about the next step. All right, so here I've redrawn this road into a bit of continuation of the grid. And then from this piece here, we are going to continue underneath the rail viaduct because we're going to swing it out and underneath the highway here. So when I was originally looking at this area to build in, knowing that I wanted to push the rails through this way, and then we had to bring the rails out over onto this side, I was thinking, how could we squeeze in an interchange here as well? Especially because my original plan was to actually delete this one, so it needed to be a pretty major one. But I was thinking, well, so we need an interchange that can deal with traffic, but is also confined to probably one side of the highway because the rails came first. So what could we do to accomplish that? Well, single point urban interchanges are really useful because they can be very compact, right? So an offset single point urban interchange can be even more compact. So that is what we're going to be kind of lining up to do here, which is basically just a single point urban interchange, but on one side of the highway. So let's grab the highway here, and we will make it elevated so that we can sink this road underneath it. All right, so we've sunken the road through here, and I'm going to leave this at ground level because I'm going to use some terrain here to make it look like maybe it was a hill or something like that they were going over top of, just so we get some change in, get some variety going. But yeah, this is going to work out great. So now we have this major arterial. It's actually going to connect up all the way to here. This road now continues all the way through the city. So we're going to kind of almost loop it back, but it's going to be extremely, extremely useful for the citizens of the city. All right, so let's swing it out all the way over to here. Let's grab this view so we can kind of see where we're going. So I would appreciate it at least if by this point here we would be at ground level. So let's use the network multi-tool. It's a fantastic mod. It allows you to slope things to some great fun extents like this. Easy peasy, a 0.2% grade. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I need to set this road here to terrain height with move it, and then use the network multi-tool to slope it all the way down to here. So 1.2% grade is fantastic. This will give us a ton of land to play with. So we're gonna connect this road up right into here. I feel like that is probably the best connection point. So let's grab this. Oh, we're gonna go through a fence here. So let's just make sure that we delete this fence right there. We're actually probably good with that. And then we'll delete this here too. Clear out some of the trees that we're gonna build over top of. All right, so now from here we can get a nice clean curve to connect in here, just like that. Perfect, perfect. So now we have a nice big loop that kind of bypasses this area here, and then we can easily get some nice fun roads down in this direction in the future. So let's build out this area here, and then let's talk about the single point urban interchange. Awesome. Okay, so this looks great. Now, a single point urban interchange is an interchange that runs off of a single point, hence the name, right? So what I'm thinking is we run that point right off of here. So we're gonna need maybe a bit closer. That's pretty good. So this involves, it's a bit tricky to do in vanilla, so it involves some mods here. But we're gonna need to basically, here, I'll just show you with my mouse right here what the plan is. So from this point here, we'll have a branch branching off and connecting into the single point. Then from here, we're actually going to swing out the same direction, but we're going to go on this side. Now, whether or not we're gonna go over top of or underneath this highway here is yet to be seen. And then same thing from the other side. So if we want to get onto the highway from here, we swing out this way, and then we'll curve out that way. And we're getting off the highway here, we'll swing underneath, probably, and connect in. So I'm guessing we should probably push it a bit closer to the highway here. But we're going to have all four directions running off of this single piece. So let's use a nice big road here. So I'm thinking this one is probably, this guy right here is probably the best bet, and I believe we have a vanilla version of it, so I'm just going to use that one instead. So let's go from here, and then from this point here, yeah, let's go off of this one. We're going to grab both of these out in the same length here, and then let's make sure that we turn them around so that the two-lane portion is pointing out into the middle of this intersection here. So now from this point, we can build out the branches connecting into the highway. All right, and then from the other side, at about the same point, I want to make sure that we leave at least two spaces for cars to change over from this this interchange here. We're going to go from about here. We're going to swing off the highway, just like that. And then we're gonna kind of go underneath the highway again. So clearing out these trees so we can see underneath. Is that big enough space? It is a big enough space. Okay, fantastic then. Now, what we need to do is just clean up these portions here. Like this node is a bit too close, same with this one. So let's delete both of those. And then with Node Controller, which is another fantastic mod, we can clean up these nodes a little bit to make them seem a bit cleaner. But I'm actually realizing we should probably have an extra slip lane here for traffic. So let's turn this into a 4-lane highway right through here, just in these 3 pieces, so that we have the cars coming off of this interchange here, which I'm just going to tweak up a little bit as well. Then they merge into this lane here, and they have a couple opportunities to get off. Otherwise, they're going to be stuck on the Single Point Urban Interchange here. Yeah, let's just clean this up a little bit to get ourselves a bit more room here to play with. All right, so now we have this side all cleaned up, and now we need to worry about the slope of this. We have this 4-lane piece right here. That's fantastic. Let's now make sure that we have everything all clean. The slope into here, clean. The slope from here into here, clean. All right, so we have these ones set up now on both sides, so we should see cars flow into here pretty smoothly. Now I'm just going to clean up this curve to make it a little bit wider because it's a little sharp right here. So I'm thinking if I just pull this one down a little bit, we should have enough nodes in here still for cars to make smart decisions. But then if we bring this one out a little bit like that, we should be good. Then we'll swing it around like this, I think. It's probably our best bet. So it's a bit of a sharp curve at first, but I think in the long run here, it'll be a good solution for these cars to meet up this area at a nice angle. And then same thing from here, I'm just gonna curve that out a little bit, then pull this forward so that we have a nice clean area to merge into. And then one more 4-lane piece right through here, just like that. Ooh, sorry, this needs to be the ones with guardrails. And we actually only need 1 node in here. So there we go, and we'll just clean it up with Node Controller as well. Now at the end of the episode, I'm going to go through here with intersection marking tool to make sure that we have intersection lines throughout this whole area, but it is not necessary because we can kind of see what's happening anyways. Okay, so from this point here now, we need to get connections into this side. Because right now we can leave the arterial road and we can get onto the arterial road if we're coming from this side, but we can't get onto it and leave from this direction. All right, so here we have it. We have a Single Point Urban Interchange coming off of the highway here. Now, the Single Point Urban Interchange that is offset, usually they're over top of a highway if it's a service interchange or below it. But in this case, we have it on the side because of the issue with the right-of-way here. So because of that, we have a really great connection points into this area here. Now we swung this one out a little bit further than it probably should have because of the slope. It's a bit steep, so adding some more space here to do that lowers the slope of it. So it's a bit easier on cars in the long run, I guess. Yeah, ton of fun. Now all these cars can easily merge off into here. Now we have Traffic Manager in right now so that we can add in these connection pieces so that we don't have cars changing lanes at this node. It's a bit of an iffy situation, right? So let's add those in on both sides so that we have some nice clean connections, and then we can detail it up. All right, so there we have it. We have it all detailed up, and now we get to talk about what we're going to do with this land. So we have this awesome road through here now, right? And people are using it. Looks like people are using the interchange now too, which is fantastic. It's going to take away some traffic from this one, which is a tight service interchange. So this is a bit of a larger service interchange. But I want to get some roads in behind here for Joy, but then we'll bring in a cool road along the waterfront maybe. Underneath here, connected up into this zone, and then we can probably think about getting a bit of an office park into here. So we'll run a couple, regional roads throughout this area, but I'm not gonna do too much beyond this kind of zone. And then once we get those roads in, we'll talk about the office park. Awesome, so we have a big regional road underneath here, and now we get to talk about maybe extending a grid out. Now I want to do a grid so that we can kind of continue the theme of these areas, so that it doesn't look like a whole new separate zone, but it looks like an area that is kind of realistic, and that the highway kind of was built through the grid or something like that. I feel like that adds a lot of character. So let's continue using some of these bike roads for the main ones, but then we're going to switch to roads that can have parking and whatnot. So yeah, we'll just kind of get a bit of a grid through here, and we'll take out some of these trees too. Awesome, so we have our road infrastructures in through here, and then we also have this zone ready to be built up a little bit. So let's think about getting some unique buildings in here, and we can continue the theme from this area in this little pocket here, getting some industry out that way because we have a ton of industry demand. So now that we have this is great. We also have a bike infrastructure, including a sneaky pedestrian and bike path through here too. So let's start off with this area through here because there is a ton of industry that we could fill in. This is a good little pocket for industry right beside the highway. I feel like this is a good zone to have this in. So let's just make sure that we're a bit picky with our zoning tools through here, and then maybe right in this little pocket here we could get some offices along there, and then we'll leave a bit of a gap right here before some industry. So I think this is probably good. We could even turn off zoning on this major road. If I can find it again, where is it? It's right here, perfect. We turn off zoning, just like that, and then we can just re-upgrade the road here. And then look at that, we also have some larger industry pockets through here now too. So we could do something as simple as that, and that should probably be good for this little zone here. Delete some of these trees. And then moving on to this side, we have a great opportunity here to get some larger unique buildings in. So we can think about getting maybe some high-tech buildings in. I really like those buildings. So let's maybe look at that, and we'll look at some of these ones throughout the unique buildings as well. All right, so we have some big office buildings in here using the high-tech buildings, and I think they're a really fun addition to the area. So next step, we're just going to finish up filling this in with some office zoning and some maybe a bit of residential zoning if it works, but I'm really focused on this being an industrial park because of the demand that we have. And then we will end the episode, so I will talk to you soon. Awesome. I really enjoy how this turned out. Bit of an industry office park. There's some commercial in here too. We ran some buses in there to encourage people to get here, so the buses run into this bus hub over here, and then also connect with some buses here. So we've added a lot of traffic with this mail depot. So I'm going to be watching that for next episode to make sure that traffic isn't too bad, because we might need to stop this from happening. These mail trucks are starting to run this way, and then they're getting onto the highway over here. I would much prefer if they used this area to get onto the highway here. So we might need to sever this connection for trucks. So we can do that in a few different ways, but I'll watch it for a little while and we'll see what's happening, because we do see that the trucks are going this way. So what did I do here? Well, we have these larger office buildings, these signature office buildings. They add a lot to the landscape here. But we got some parking, a lot of parking. It's very important for these kinds of builds. People do drive to work for these industry and office buildings. So we have a road maintenance depot as well right in here, mixed in with some industrial evolution and some wall-to-wall offices. So these wall-to-wall offices add a bit of color to the area, and then the commercial kind of grounds it along this main street here as well. So I really like the Industrial Revolution because they have a ton of warehouses. This is the kind of building that I think would exist in this zone, and it's mixed in with some older industry as well, so we'll see that probably evolve and kind of upgrade to these warehouses. But I really enjoy doing parking in the middle of blocks like this. I think that's really realistic because then it zones up behind the building, so it's very, very cool. We have another signature office building this way as well, with a few more parking spaces and whatnot tucked about, including some garbage as well. Oh, I missed this little pocket here. Let's just get that really quickly. All right, so we do have a bit of an issue with not enough workers. That is because I zoned up a ton of industry. So I wanted to get those bus connections into the wider world so that hopefully people will start working out this way. Otherwise, we might need to start getting some express shuttles or something like that to some of the more residential areas, because we still have no residential demand. We just have a ton of industry demand. So we'll watch this for a little bit, and then next episode we will deal with it if it doesn't really get resolved. So here is the post office area. I really like this asset. It's really, really cool. And we have it on its own little private lot here with a bit of an extra warehouse space as well. And behind it, we have a bit of a road as well, because it looks like on this asset, there's a gate on the backside here. And then if we go around, oh, bit of an autosave, bad timing. We go around here, we have our dumpsters over this side. So garbage trucks would need to get access to this zone. So yeah, I think that's a really, really fun thing to have. I really like the mixing of the assets as well. They play really well together, and I think overall it looks really, really fun and nice. So let's end it off with a fun little screenshot here of an industrial area with a SPUI interchange. So hope you have a wonderful day, folks. Talk to you next time, where we'll be building another interchange over at the top of the screen right there. So have a wonderful day. Thank you, Joy, for letting me be a guest builder in this series, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace out.